In the distant reaches of the galaxy, where starlight painted the endless void with flecks of silver, there existed a planet called Valtheris. It was a world of breathtaking beauty, with amethyst skies, crystalline oceans, and forests that shimmered with bioluminescent hues. Yet, for all its splendor, Valtheris bore a deep loneliness. For its inhabitants, the Elorians, were a race cursed with emotional detachment. They lived their lives devoid of love, unable to form connections beyond the superficial. For them, relationships were transactional, and the concept of intimacy was as foreign as the human notion of magic. Among the Elorians was a woman named Lyra. She was an artist by trade, sculpting masterpieces from the vibrant crystals native to her world. Her work was celebrated across Valtheris, but inside she felt a hollow ache she couldn't understand. While her peers dismissed her feelings as a flaw in her genetic coding, Lyra often wandered the crystalline shores of her planet, staring at the stars and wondering if there was more to existence than the sterile perfection of her race. Her life changed when a human exploration vessel, the Ardent Horizon, crash-landed on Valtheris. The humans had been charting new trade routes when an unexpected meteor shower had crippled their ship. The Elorians, curious but wary, approached the wreckage with caution. Among the survivors was Captain Elias Carter, a man whose charisma and warmth stood in stark contrast to the cold detachment of the Elorians. Lyra was among those assigned to observe the humans. From a distance, she watched as they worked tirelessly to repair their vessel. But what fascinated her most was the way they interacted. She saw Elias comfort a crew member with a reassuring hand on the shoulder, laugh heartily at a joke, and even shed tears when recounting a memory of Earth. These displays of emotion were alien to her, yet they resonated deeply within. One evening, unable to resist her curiosity, Lyra approached the humans' camp. The Elorians had established communication using a universal translator, and Elias greeted her warmly. "You must be Lyra," he said, his voice carrying a kindness that made her heart stir in a way she couldn't describe. "Their people told me you're an artist. I'd love to see your work someday." Lyra blinked, momentarily at a loss for words. She had never been addressed with such genuine interest before. I would be honored," she replied, her voice wavering slightly. Over the following days, Lyra found herself drawn to Elias. She spent hours speaking with him, learning about Earth, humanity, and the emotions that seemed to govern their existence. Elias, in turn, was captivated by Lyra's curiosity and the unintentional poetry of her questions. She once asked, "What does it mean to love someone?" He had smiled softly and replied, "It's like finding a part of yourself you didn't know was missing. It's warmth, connection, and the willingness to stand by someone, no matter what." For Lyra, these words ignited a fire within. She began to see her world differently, noticing the void left by her people's emotional detachment. Her art changed, too. The cold precision of her sculptures gave way to flowing forms that seemed to pulse with life and yearning. Her peers dismissed the shift as frivolous, but she no longer cared. For the first time, she felt alive. As the humans worked to repair their ship, a crisis loomed. Valtheris was home to a rare mineral, Trinix, which the Elorians used sparingly for energy. Unbeknownst to them, the humans required the same mineral to power their ship's damaged core. The Elorian Council, cold and calculating, refused to share their reserves, citing the potential depletion of their own resources. Elias, desperate to save his crew, pleaded with the Council. "We're not asking for charity," he argued. "We're willing to trade knowledge, technology, whatever you need. But if we can't repair our ship, we'll be stranded here. Please help us." The Council remained unmoved, their decision final. Lyra, however, couldn't bear to see the humans suffer. For the first time in her life, she felt something akin to defiance. She approached Elias that evening, her voice trembling with determination. "I know where the Trinix is stored. I can help you." Elias hesitated, aware of the risk she was taking. "Lyra, are you sure? This could have serious consequences for you." She met his gaze, her amethyst eyes glowing with resolve. "For the first time, I understand what it means to care for someone. Let me do this." Under the cover of darkness, Lyra led Elias and a small team to the storage facility. The mission was fraught with danger as the Elorian security systems were among the most advanced in the galaxy, but Lyra's intimate knowledge of her people's technology proved invaluable. Together, they managed to extract the required Trionix and transport it back to the ship. The following morning, the Council discovered the theft. Lyra was summoned and faced with severe consequences. Her peers looked at her with a mixture of disdain and bewilderment, unable to comprehend her actions. Why would you betray your own kind for these outsiders? One council member demanded. Lyra stood tall, her voice steady, because they taught me something we've long forgotten. They showed me what it means to truly live, to feel, to connect. I'd rather face exile than continue to exist in a world devoid of meaning. Her words sent ripples through the council chamber. While most dismissed her as an aberration, a few began to question the emotional void that defined their lives. Lyra was sentenced to exile, but she left with her head held high, knowing she had made the right choice. Elias and his crew completed the repairs and prepared to depart. As they bid farewell, Elias took Lyra's hand, his expression a mixture of gratitude and sorrow. You've given us more than we could ever repay. If you ever find yourself near Earth, you'll always have a home with us. Lyra watched as the ardent horizon lifted off, leaving a trail of light in its wake. Though she was now alone, she felt a profound sense of peace. She had discovered something her people had lost, the capacity to love, to hope, to dream. As she wandered the shores of Valtheris, the stars seemed brighter, their light a promise of new beginnings. Lyra knew her journey was just beginning, and she carried the warmth of humanity in her heart, a beacon in the cold expanse of the galaxy.